We're just discussing about how society imposes these norms on what your physical winter garment should look like. What there is a physical norm of what is desirable in a human being, in a woman, in a man, especially in young women and young men. And we're fighting divine architecture, what we were given. Maybe we're short and we want to be tall. Maybe we have brown eyes and we wanted blue eyes. And maybe we're heavy built and we want to be as skinny as a model.
Yeah.
So how do you go about reconciling yourself with how you look when you weren't perhaps sent to Sunday school, or you have no background on you have no solace in spiritual teachings?
Okay, this is a very important question of widespread significance, almost a universal question. So we have got to talk about this very slowly. Now, even if you went for Sunday catechism classes, scripture classes, and even if you attended Balavihar classes in Hindu India, and you studied the Bhagavad Gita, assume that you studied the Bhagavad Gita, you will not be able to answer this question suitably, because, especially in the West, it is a given that the body is the definition of who you are. And I know that the mind is important in the West. I'm not underplaying that. But the body is being a visual thing, powerfully visual thing. You give tremendous importance to the form of the human being, the body. And therefore, people are very concerned about how you look and what is your height and what's your weight and all of that kind of stuff. But so we have to, first of all, either we are stupid and we are swept away by the norms laid down by mainstream society, and we become the victims of the norms society has laid down, or how you should look and so on, which is quite idiotic. On the other hand, we can be more perceptive and we can see that there is such tremendous diversity in human nature that how can there be just one yardstick? How can there be just one unique standard of what is good and auspicious and what is bad and inauspicious? Can there be among 7 billion people? Isn't it ridiculous that we will accept one norm and reject another norm? In fact, if you go by the norms in the various civilizations, and there are many societies and many civilizations in the world, and what may be considered to be very beautiful in America may not be considered to be beautiful in China or Japan or Africa or Egypt. And what may be considered to be beautiful in Egypt and in Syria may not be accepted to be beautiful in America or in Brazil or in Mexico. So there are no uniform standards, and you got to from that you got to come to understand that you should not make the mistake of defining yourself exclusively by your physical form. There's more to it. There's a mental sheath, there is an emotional sheath, and there is an intellectual sheath called Vijnanamaya Kosha. Your intelligence is a very important sheath. And after that, there is Anandamaya Kosha. There is your bliss body, which is the core essence of who you are. Then there is that. And this body is the house for that. Okay? And so you have to reject what society has given you. You got to reject the norms society has given you. And what is most important and what should supersede the norms society has given you is that your freedom comes first. Your freedom comes first, and whole of life is for self-expression. whole of life is for cracking three mysteries: the mystery of yourself, the mystery of the divine, and the mystery of life. And you will be fortunate and you will have your salvation if life is an opportunity for you to crack these three mysteries, outstanding mysteries: what is life, and who is Sandra, and who is the divine. So if you can devote your time and energy to go that far, then I think you're the most lucky person, you're the luckiest person ever, the whole of creation. And every one of us is entitled to address ourselves to those outstanding mysteries. And we've got to see how we can grapple with those mysteries, because that's what life is all about. And but that calls for being very responsible and doing the homework and not believing every cock and bull story which is thrown at our doorstep. No, we've got to reject them. And Krishnamurti says so clearly that you can change society only when you break away from it. Break away from what? Break away from its stupidity.